ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 29, verse number 9. So we read in the previous verses that how after hearing the flute played by Krishna, the gopis dropped everything and they ran to meet him. So it was described that they gave up their respective duties related with their family or their person or to their social status as cowherd ladies. So they dropped everything to meet Krishna, because devotion means complete dedication. In the material world we depend on many things. We take shelter of various things. It may be our job, our relatives, our credit card. So devotion means depending on Krishna. That's what it really means. That's why it starts with Sharanagati. So Guru Padashray Tasmat Krishna Dikshadi Sekshana. So first step is Padashray of Guru, Krishna, same thing. So that is the beginning. Otherwise we are depending on something other than Krishna. And that's where we get all types of problems. So therefore here it is shown that ultimately if you see, the gopis did not give up anything, because they came back and continued whatever they were doing. But the idea here is to show that their attachment, their surrender, their love, dedication was only for Krishna. That is the point which is being made. We also see situation, something similar in case of Arjuna, first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So he was very much worried about destruction of dharma. He says, Doshaitai kulagna nam varna sankar karkai utsadyante jati dharma kul dharma shashvata utsannam kul dharma nam manushyanam janardana narke niyatam vasa bhavati iti anushushruma. So he was giving the argument that he should not fight because this will destroy dharma. So if you read Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, Arjuna seems right to us. And if you read this description here, unless you are already familiar with bhakti, then you read this will look wrong to us. Anybody who is following proper dharmic life, if he reads this, he will think this is very inappropriate for gopis to drop all this and going. That means they don't care for their duty, their responsibility, they are escapist. And Arjuna appears right. So this is because of our own mindset, our own attachments, because we also are attached like that. So this is the contrast, and it took long time for Arjuna to come to the point of surrendering to Krishna. So that's why it is said that Bhāgavatam starts where Bhagavad Gita ends. Because Bhagavad Gita ends in surrender, and these people are already surrendered from the very beginning. Surrender to the maximum. So this is basic characteristic of bhakti, that it become unmukha towards Krishna. You have Shraddha, you have trust, you have surrendered. The other point which is to be seen is that if you do bhakti, then obstacles come in that. So bhajan kriya and then anartha. So if you do bhakti sincerely, then obstacles start coming. And they are coming to gopis, what to speak of people like us, because they were stopped. So ta varyamana patibhi pitribhi bhratribhi bandhubhi govinda pritatmanu nanyavartanta mohita. So this is the last verse which we studied. So they were obstructed. So obstacles come, but they were not overwhelmed or subdued by these obstacles. That's why it says that na nevartanta mohita. So similarly, for sadhakas also, obstacles come on the path of bhakti. As it is said in 11th Canto, Tvam sevatam surkrito bhavo antaraya Saukai vilanga paramam vrajtam padam te Nanyasya barhisi balim dadata svabhagan dhatte padam tamavitayadi vigna murti. So vigna, obstacles, problems come. And they say that even devas can put problem. Pati deva here. Husband is also deva, right? So surkrita bhavo antaraya. So here for the gopis, their husbands, pati bhi, pitri bhi, bandhu bhi. So problems will be created generally by people who are your friends, relatives. They will cause trouble to you. If you take to bhakti, so those, because they think you are leaving them, you are going away, you are dropping from their party, so they don't like it. So they will create obstacle, physical, mental, social, all types of problems will come. But bhakti is very powerful, so nothing can stop it. So it said that it is abhata. So it is ahetuki, it is causeless and it is unobstructed. Ahetuki apratihata. So this is also what is being shown here. So now in this sloka, sloka number 9, they talk of another class of gopis which were not allowed to go and meet Krishna. So Malati, you have some question?
Yes, Babaji, I just wanted to clarify, when you explained yesterday that gopis giving up their cosmetics, dropping everything, putting clothes upside down and all that, it means they gave up the bodily attachment. So what I understand is that because they have prema for Krishna, they never really had bodily attachment. So when you say they gave it up, means they don't have it, they never had it? Or how to understand this? Or did they have it?
So if they did not have it, why we are saying that they gave up their jati, dharma, kula dharma, all this? They do not have it, but they are living in society or not? They are not attached to their bodies, does it? So that they are not attached to their body, does it mean they don't eat?
No, that they do, of course.
So what do you mean by attachment to body then? If you can eat, you can also put cosmetics. They also dress, and dressing also means they can also dress nicely. The idea is they are not attached to it. What is being shown is that it is Krishna or devotion to Krishna which is supreme, not these things.
I mean, they never, what I understand is that gopis don't have body attachment as we have it. So when you say they gave up the body attachment, which is symbolized by doing all these things, then I understood that giving up means only it shows here that they don't have this attachment, but not that they had it before and now they give it up.
Okay, so they don't have bodily attachment and they have attachment to their dharma? Yes?
I'm not sure if they have it because I thought
Why are you not sure? If they are not attached to body and dharma is related to body,
yeah.
right? So if they are not attached to body, how they will be attached to the dharma?
Yeah, probably not.
So then why you don't ask question about dharma? because we read that in commentary itself. If they are not attached to body, then they cannot be attached to jati dharma, kul dharma, this dharma, that dharma, because dharma is related to body only. They are women, therefore they have Stri dharma.
So they never have this attachment.
Yeah, they do not have.
To learn from that.
If they do not have, but how do you show that they do not have?
Yeah.
How are you going to say this? Either you just say it, but if you are making it like a story, how do you put it?
Yeah.
That is the meaning of.
Yeah, that's what I. Right. This is.
Yeah, but if we have I have to explain it, means how do I explain it? If I say they don't have it, then you'll say, then why are they putting cosmetics to begin with?
Yeah. So it's just the way of teaching us, basically, how that this has to be given up.
This is the meaning of Nar-Līlā.
Mm.
Otherwise, why Krishna has to do all this here? He can stay wherever he is, why he has to come here?
Mm. Yeah. Okay.
Tanmaji.
Babaji have explained over the last few lectures how things should not be taken literally and we should not get fixated on the details but rather focus on what the message is, which is bhava. And even in this discussion it's clear that that's the case. I've encountered opposition from people who are literalists, and this happens more often than not, where they say, well, where does it say that the acharyas are saying don't take it literally? Why do you say that this is a kavya, or why do you say that?
So you want to understand or you want to argue? Because you see, the thing is that I am trying to explain what is the message here. Now if you bring these people who are not my audience here and their argument, then it is going somewhere else. Obviously to them I am not going to speak like that. I am speaking to you people who have been in my class continuously, you are hearing me. No, my question is, why are you asking this question?
Yeah, I'm not posing their question to you. I'm asking how to respond to them when they post it to me.
This is what I am exactly saying. If I speak to them, I will not speak like this.
I see.
Because it's useless to speak to them. You have to speak to people according to their caliber, what they can accept. It's pointless. Yes, they are happy with that. Why disturb them with that? I am not trying to show them off that I know more than them or I am better than them. But I am trying to explain to you people because you are my student and I have been teaching to you. So it's also my duty to explain to you what is the tattva. They are not my students, so why shall I explain it to them? If they want to believe in that it is literal like this, then fine with me. It doesn't bother me. And I am also not disturbed by it at all. Nor I am thinking, well, they are wrong and I am right or this and that. That's fine if they are satisfied. Because with Krishna, as I said, everything is possible. Literal is also possible. But the point is, what I am trying to make is that why Bhāgavatam was manifested. What is specially, if it is to be taken literal, that is fine. But what is the real intention of Bhāgavatam to teach, not the literal? Sahitya is never literal. And I don't need to teach Sahitya to those people who want to take it literally. It's not my job. Let them take literal.
Thank you, Lord.
When you say Sahitya is never literal, would you translate it as literature is never literal, or poetry is never literal?
No, Sahitya is a way of writing. It is by Vyanjana Vritti. That is what we call as Sahitya. That is where Rasa comes. Rasa is only in Vyanjana Vritti. There is no Rasa in literal.
Implied. implied, not literal. Acha.
So that's what Sahitya is. Why Mahaprabhu was dancing and he was reading Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing that song, Ya Komar Hara Saeva Vara. So why that was so special about it? What is special about this sloka? If you take the literal meaning, what is the best speciality of this sloka? Is anything special?
Boy-girl meeting, nothing special.
But why is it that Rupa Goswami wrote and then Mahaprabhu was so thrilled that he gave him a slap out of happiness? Because he understood what is the intention behind it. So this is Sahitya. So you can take literal meaning, we are not stopping here. So just like Bhāgavatam talks in three ways, like a king, like a friend, and like a girlfriend. Three ways. So that is how Vedas speak, Puranas speak, and Kavya. So this is Kavya here. In Kavya Amrita Rasasvada, Sangati Sujanai Saha. There are only two relishable things in this world. Sansar Vishvikshasya, Dvehi Eva Rasvat Phale. If samsara is a poisonous tree, but it has two succulent fruits. One is Kavya, Kavya Amrita Rasasvada, tasting the rasa of the Kavya. Another is association with devotees.
What are the three things?
Three things.
Like Bhagavatam speaks like a
As a king,
king,
as a friend, as a girlfriend. But girlfriend means traditional girlfriend, not modern girlfriend. Modern girlfriend is like a king. There's no rasa in that. Modern girlfriends are not girlfriends. They are not girlfriends in the sense of Sahitya. Because they don't have that modesty, that shyness. The rasa is in that. That's why the people are not satisfied. Even with girlfriends, they are not satisfied. With wives, they are not satisfied because there is no rasa. They don't know how to enjoy even material rasa. All this literal thing, physical thing, obvious thing which people are doing, there's no rasa in that. That's why it's not satisfied. There is no satisfaction. See this thing. So there is dissatisfaction. So then you have your girlfriend and then you go to bar and you drink. So that itself shows that you are dissatisfied. Why are you going to bar otherwise? If you have your girlfriend or boyfriend with you and you are going to bar, what does it actually mean? It means you are totally dissatisfied. Bar in the olden time, bar would go somebody who is alone and lonely, is bored at home, and he goes there. But if you have your girlfriend and you go to bar, it doesn't make sense. From rasa point of view, it makes no sense. From their point of view, of course it makes sense because they don't know what is rasa. So then they drink this rasa, the bitter one.
Babaji, when you mention kavya, do you mean kavya only Sanskrit poetry or poetry of any other country that could be?
I don't know poetry of other countries, so I cannot comment. Maybe he can say I have not read. I don't know if they have any sense of rasa or not. So I'm not. Maybe Vraj Vinodani, some experts, Western poetry, they can talk. I never read. I was not an English student. English I learned by hard work. So I have no idea.
Sometimes we see in the Puranas, different Puranas, they have...
Hold on. We need to hear you. So please take the mic.
Yeah, we see in the differences in the same story in different Puranas, like Bhāgavatam, Mahabharata sometimes. So among them, how do we find out which is literal and which is like the author is trying to explain the meaning of it?
You have
trying
to
to
study
explain
from
this.
Guru, otherwise you cannot figure out.
No, so suppose Parikshit, like the event in
So I'm
Mahabharata.
saying you have to study from Guru if you want to find out what is the meaning of the story. That's why Bhagavatam says. That's Brujo Snigdhasa Sisyasya Guruva Guhyam Apyutam. These books are not telling stories. They are not for you to teach history. That is first thing you should understand. This is Vidya. There are 18 Vidyas. Purana is one of them. It is a Vidya. It is not a history. History is used to teach you. History is just a means to teach you.
Yeah, because in some shlokas, like they will say that the wife of death is old age, something like that. Some allegories kind of stories. So there the meaning is very clear in those stories. But in some stories, the same story is written in Vitrasura, suppose in different way in another Purana. So one of them will be literal always. The real
Baba, I'm
event.
saying nothing is literal there. None of these stories are completely like the way explained. Everywhere the speaker wants to teach you something, so he takes a twist on the story and teaches you that what he wants to teach. Because the point is not to tell you a story. This is what I'm saying. Story is a means to educate you. Now it depends on the speaker, what is he trying to educate you. So what he wants to educate, that is the part he will, magnify, highlight in that story. He can modify the story. Apare kavi sansare kavi reko prajapati. Just like this is the creation of Brahma, there is a creation of Kavi Sansar. That is called the world of the poet. And it is also unlimited. Apare Kavi Sansare Kavi Reko Prajapati. There the creator is only Kavi. Yathar as rochate tathaiva pravartate. As he likes, he creates. So if Parikshit has to sit like this, if Parikshit has to do like this, if Parikshit has to build a house inside Ganga river, hide in that, he will do that. It doesn't mean that Parikshit actually did it. Parikshit was there. It also does not mean that there was no Parikshit. It does not mean that Krishna and gopis were not there. But what he wants to teach, then he will make that happen. It's up to him. So this is what Kavya means. It's the same thing. A for apple. So now you say, is this apple green apple or is it red apple? Is it German apple or British apple? So which one is it? Big, small?
Italian.
So then you can do all this study. But the intention is to learn A. Apple, it's not that apple does not exist. But one person draws A, he makes a green apple. Another one is teaching, he makes it as a reddish pinkish, different. And so, well, there it was green, how you make it like this when they're fighting there? No, in Mahabharata it is said Parikshit made a house inside the Ganga. And Bhāgavatam says, how is this? This is very contradictory.
Yeah.
Because the intention is to teach you the A and not the apple. Apple is a medium for you to learn A. But at the same time, it does not mean that the green apple is not there or the pink apple is not there. Mike.
They say that these pastimes are supposed to be meditated like that, so that we will enter in those pastimes.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything is possible. That is also possible. This is what you want. But you will enter, at least you will understand what is the pastime. Or you will just jump in. Entry is very difficult. You will see here, now in this sloka, it will give you an idea how difficult it is to enter. Saying is easy. Okay, anything else? So, antargriha gata kaschit gopyo alabdha vinirgamaha krishnam tad bhavana yukta dadhyur milita lochana. So, the previous sloka we studied that some gopis, they were stopped. But they still reached Krishna. Here, in this, there is another set of gopis who could not reach him because they could not go. So, antargriha gata kaschit, they were inside the house, means they were blocked inside the house. Gopyo alabdha vinirgama. They were put inside the room and latched from outside, and there was no window to jump out. So they could not find any way to get out. Alabdha vinirgama means there was no way out. They could not break the roof. They could not break the wall. And the gate was closed from outside. So then what did they do? Krishnam tad bhavna yukta dadhyur milita lochana. So they were full of love for Krishna, and therefore with closed eyes they meditated on him. Milita lochana means close their eyes, which means stopping all other intervention, all other sensations. That is the significance of milita lochana, means that it's not just the eyes they closed, but everything else. Means they did not allow anything to distract them. They became completely focused, as if in a state of samadhi, dadhyu. Why? Tad bhavna yukta. Because they are completely aware of. Bhavana means awareness. Yukta. Bhavana also love. It's also awareness. So Krishnam tad bhavna yukta dadhyur milita lochana. So Krishnam dadhyu means they meditated on Sri Krishna. So there is a little lengthy commentary on this. Sarartha Darshani, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Atra ujjvala neelamani yukta ritya vivichyate. So he says that here I am going to explain this sloka in the light of how Sri Rupa Goswami has explained in Ujjwal Neelmani. Because there he talks about 4 types of gopis. So he will mention that. Because this was one specific type of gopis who were blocked and could not reach. So he says, Gopyas tavad dvividha. This is based on Ujjwal Neelmani, that the gopis that there are of 2 types. So as bhaktas also, there are nitya siddhas and sadhana siddhas. Because this is the Leela of Bhagavan here in this world. So he comes with his parikaras, his associates, his eternal devotees. And then there are also people who are performing sadhana here in the material world, so they also join at that time. That's how they enter into the Leela. So therefore he says first there are two types of gopis, and it's true for gopas also. It applies both ways. So nitya siddha means who are eternally perfected, who are eternal associates of Krishna, means they are never part of the material world. And then there are sadhana siddhas, means who have performed spiritual practice to attain perfection. Then he says sadhana siddhasya dvividha. Sadhana siddha have further two categories, yathikya ayathikyascha. So those who belong to a group and those who do not belong to any group. So therefore you got three categories, nitya siddha, and then yathiki and ayathiki. And yathikyascha dvividha, those which belong to the group, they have further two categories in it. Shruti yutha bhutatvat shruti charyaha, rishi yutha bhutatvat rishi charyascha. Those which belong to the Shruti group, means the Upanishads, part of the Vedas, they are called Shruti Chari Gopis. So this charat pratyaya is applied here in the Bhutkal. Shruti Chari, you heard the word Shruti Chari. So it means that in the past there were Shrutis. And Munichari or Rishichari means in the past there were Rishis or the Munis, sages. That's what the charat pratyaya means here. From you got the word Chari. So that is the one group, the Shruti Chari. And the second is Rishi Yutha Bhutatvad Rishi Charyas. So therefore these are the four groups now. There are Nitya Siddhas, then there is Shruti Chari, Rishi Chari, and Ayodhiki, not belonging to any group. These are the four types of the gopis. Out of these four, three are sadhana siddhas, one is nitya siddha. So, tatascha asham chaturvidhatva muktam padme. So these four types are mentioned in Padma Purana. Gopyastu shrutayo jeya rishija gopakannikaha devakanyascha rajendrana manusya kathanchana. So he says that, O king, gopis are of four types. There are Shrutis, they are those who are born to the sages. They are Gopkanyas, means cowherd girls, and Devkanya, those who belong to the Devas, four. And therefore it says, Na Manusya Kathanchana. So they are not belonging to human beings. Iti gopitvenaiva manushatve labdheyapi na manusya iti nishedhastasam prakrita manushatva bhavam yapayati. So now if they are gopis, and gopis means human beings, so then why is saying that they are not human beings and they are gopis? What else gopi will be? So he says this denial, since they are human beings and it is being denied, then when there is a denial like that, that is a denial of the well-known quality. So means they are not material human beings. Otherwise, how will you give the sense to the sloka? They are gopis and they are not human beings. Then what are they? So it means that they are not material human beings. So that's why when it is said that God is nirguna, means he does not have material gunas. That's a nisheda of the prasiddha, the well-known one, not an absolute nisheda. It is not an atyanta bhava, complete denial. So out of these four, Gopakanya ka eva nitya siddha. So out of this Shruti, Rishija, Gopakanyaka and Devakanya, it is the third one, the Gopakanya. These are the Nitya Siddha Gopis. Why he says Tasam Sadhana Ashravanat? Because there is no description of them anywhere that they did any spiritual practice to attain perfection. गोपित्वे सति अपि कात्यायनी अर्चनस्य तु साधनत्वं नरलीलत्वम् एव ज्ञापयति गोपित्वस्य सिद्धत्वाद् एव इति तत्प्रसंग एव प्रपंचितम्. So if they are already gopi, then why they are doing Katyayani puja, as we studied earlier, Gopkanya. So I say this Katyayani Archan, which is a sadhana, because we have seen there is no description of them doing any sadhana. But they did it Katyayani Mahamaya, Mahayogani Adhishwari, Nanda Gopsutam Dev, Patim Kurume, Te Namaha. So they were chanting this mantra. So he says that this is because of Rāsa-līlā. Just as they are here and they are gopi, they are also like other human beings. That's why I said that they are, painting their face, putting all this. They are just like regular people. But they do not have attachment to it. They do all activities like other human beings do. They are also family, they also take care, but that their fixity, attachment, this is the meaning of bhav. Otherwise, what is the distinction? So it is to show that the external appearance is nothing special. If you see gopis, they are not going to look to you, they are the highest devotees, because they don't have any insignia, like if they are great Vaishnavas by appearance. They look like regular Vraja girls. They may not even have tilak. So how will you recognize? Because this is internal, this is the bhav. And that is what is being depicted here in the whole Rāsa-līlā. So therefore it says Narlilatvam eva gyapayati. This only signifies that their Narlila, Gopitvasya Siddhatvad. He says gopis are only siddhas. Tat prasanga eva prapanchitam. This was already described in that story. Tasam nitya siddhatvam tu. So their being nitya siddhas is also stated in Brahma Samhita. Anand chinmaya ras pratibhavitavi ताभिर्यैव निजरूपतया कलाभि गोलोक एव निवस्ते अखिलात्मभूत गोविंदमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. So there it is described that Ananda Chinmaya Ras Pratibhavita Tabhi. Tabhi means Gopi bhi. So, and there Ananda Chinmaya Ras Pratibhavita bhi. So Ananda Chinmaya Ras is the Ladani Shakti or this Bhakti Shakti, is Prema. So they are Bhavita and then Pratibhavita. In Ayurveda they have procedure of what is called Bhavana. Like you take Amla powder, then you put Amla juice in it, then you dry it, Then you put amla juice again in it, then you dry it. You do it 100 times. So then you said this is amla with swabhavna 100 times. That you have given bhavna of its own juice. You can also give bhavna of something else. So this is called bhavna. So gopis are bhavita, pratibhavita. Means they are completely soaked in Chinmaras. They are potent, like in only that homeopathy also they make it fine, their potency increases. This is the pratibhavita. So Ananda Chinmayaras pratibhavitavi tabhira eva nij rupa taya kalabhi. They are his kala, his potency. So he lives with them only. Goloke eva nivasti akhila atma bhuta. He lives only in Goloka. That is the Govinda. So this is the Nitya Siddha Gopis described there. So therefore say iti Brahma Samhita Oktya. Tasam hladini shaktitva pratipadanat. So this is described here how they are made of hladini shakti. Made manifestation. That is the meaning of Chinmaras pratibhavita. It's the hladini shakti, antaranga shakti. Hladini ya mahashakti iti brihad gautami acha. So in Brihad Gautamiya Tantra, it is mentioned that this Hladini is the Mahashakti, which constitutes the gopis. Tabhihi saha Krishnasya Ramanasya anaditvatsya. And Krishna is playing with these gopis eternally. There is no beginning of it. Anadi is eternal pastime. So dasa Ashtadasha Aksharadi Mantreshu Tasam Nirdeshat. Why is that? Because these gopis are mentioned in the 10-syllable mantra, 18-syllable mantra. So if they are part of mantra, then they have to be eternal. Because mantras are eternal. So if gopis are mentioned there, then they are eternal. So therefore it says Tasham Nirdeshat, that they are stated there. Tan mantra upasana nam tad vidhayak shruti nam cha anadi ananta kala bhavitvach. So those mantras which consist these names and describe the worship by the mantra, and the shrutis which are describing these mantras, they are anadi. They have no beginning, they have no end. So therefore gopis are Nitya Siddha. So this is about the third group of the gopis, Gopakanya. Then he talks about Devakanya, the fourth category. So he says Sambhavastu Amarastriya. So this is from the first chapter of 10th Canto. And Earth went to Brahma, then Brahma went to Mahavishnu and supplicated him on behalf of earth. So then he said, yes, he will come. He lifted those two hairs and then he said he will come, and then he ordered that the Deva, Amarastri, the wives of the Devas, they should take birth as gopis on earth. Sambhavantu Amarastriya. So iti pramana avgata nam devkanya nam. So from this pramana, this statement, it is understood that these devkanyas, they are nitya siddha gopikansha bhutatvam. So they are the manifestation of the nitya siddha gopis, expansions of part of them. Because sometimes Bhagavan appears among the Devas, as Vaman Devi came. So there his consorts are also Because Vamandeva is expansion of Krishna, the consort will be expansion of the gopis or Lakshmi. So those are the ones who become gopis here. So that's what he's saying. So Vyakhyatam Ujjwal Nilmanam. So this is described again in Ujjwal Nilmani. As he said that he is giving this explanation according to Ujjwal Nilmani. There he has written more details. Vishnath Chakravarti also commented on Ujjwal Nilmani. Shruti Charinam, then he comes to the first one, Shrutayo. Shruti Charinam Sadhan Siddhatvam. So these Shruti Chari gopis are the Sadhan Siddha gopis. How do we know this? So this is a statement. He says, Kandarpa Koti Lavanya Tvai Drishte Manam Sinha Kamni Bhavam Asadya Smarak Shubdhani Ashamshaya Yathatvalok Vasinya Kam Tattvena Gopika Bhajanti Ramanam Matva Chikirsha Janitas Tatha Ityadi Brihad Vaman Vachnebhyo Avgata. So this is understood from statement of Brihad Vamana Purana that Sruti's statements are not traceable, so we don't know what is the story, but they saw Krishna, who is Kandarp Koti Lavanya, who is beautiful like millions of cupids put together. So when they saw, he said that by seeing you, Tvai Drishte Manam Sina Kamni Bhavam Asadya, by seeing you, our hearts have become full of Madhurya Bhav for you. And Smarak Shubdhani Asamsaya. So our minds are agitated by the feelings of Smara, which is another name for Cupid. But here it is spiritual love. And just like the ladies of your planet, the gopis, as they have kama, which means prema, so we also want to be like that. Bhajanti Ramanam Matva, as they worship you, thinking of you as their lover, we also want to worship you in the same way. Chikirsha Ajanis Tatha. This wish has appeared in our mind. So means they are Anugata of the gopis. They want to be followers of these gopis. Then Rishi Charinam, the Rishi Charis are also described that they were the sages before. Gopal Upaskaha Purvam Aprapta Bhishta Siddhaya Iti Ujjal Nilmani Uktanam Tatha Bhutat. So as it is said in Ujjal Nilmani that they were the Gopal Upasaka in their previous lives, and then they attained their desired goal to become as gopis. And it happened when they saw Ramachandra. So Pura Maharshaya Sarve Dandakaranyavasinaha Drishtva Ramam Harim Tatra Bhoktum Echan Suvigraham Te Sarve Stritvam Apannaha Samudbhutascha Gokule Harim Samprapya Kamene Tato Mukta Bhavaranavat. So in the past, when Bhagwan Ram came to Dandakaranya, in the forest, when he was in the exile for 14 years, so they saw these sages who were living in the forest and worshipping Krishna. They saw Bhagwan Ram. And when they saw him, then he resembled very much like Krishna. So then their Rama became the Uddipan Vibhav for Krishna, or Krishna Prema. So Bhoktum Achan Suvigraham, they desired to relish their association with Hari. Hari here means Krishna. Otherwise, why Ramam and Harim is said? So Ramam Drishta Harim Bhoktum Achan. By seeing Rama, they wish to enjoy with Hari. So therefore Hari here refers to Krishna and not Rama. Otherwise it said Tam. It that after seeing him they desire to enjoy him. So te sarve stritvam apanna samudbhutasya gokula. So all these sages then took the birth in Gokula, became gopis here. And Harim samprapya kamena tato mukta bhavarnavat. They attained Krishna here by their love, and thus they became free from bondage of material world. So this is described in Uttarkhanda of Padma Purana. So these are the two types of sadhan siddhas which belong to the youth group. And then there is fourth one, which are here and there. Once in a while somebody becomes qualified. As you are saying, they meditate and enter into Leela. So they don't belong to any group. They are independent. So random bhaktas also go. So atra Ramam drishtva harim bhoktum achaniti Rama saundarya darshanena स्वउपास्यस्य हरेर गोपालस्य स्मरणात् तमेव भोक्तुम ऐच्छन् इत्यर्थ. So here it is to be understood that by seeing Rama they desire to enjoy with Hari, which means their worshipable Gopal, because they are Gopal Bhaktas, means Brajiya Krishna. So because Rama reminded them. Why? Because of similarity. So that's why it says Smaranat Tamev Bhoktam Accha. Lajjaya tu Shakshat Tam Navritvant. But out of shyness they did not choose Rama. Tatascha Kalpa Vrikshasya Avadato api Sri Ramasya Prasadat Tesham Abhisht Siddhir Jata. But because Bhagavan Ram is like a wish-fulfilling tree, so he understood the wish of the sages, and then he blessed them that yes, you will be born as gopis in Gokula. Tesham abhisht siddhir jata iti. So by the grace of Ram. Harim kamena samprapya iti anusamhitam phalam. Tatah kamadeva hetor bhavarnavat sansaran mukta iti anusamhitam phalam. So there are two fruits which are described here. Number one is that they attained Krishna. This is the prime result of their love. Kama here means love. Kamena samprapya iti anusamhitam phalam. And then the concomitant result is that they became free from the bondage to the material world. So these are three types he has described, right? He has described Gop Kanya, and then he has described the Rishi-chari and Shruti-chari and Dev-kanya. These four are described. Now is remaining that other one, Ayothiki. So he comes to that now. Atra mataraha pitra putra iti yatapatya patta suvidama nivritta anga iti patisutanvaya bhratri bandhavan ityadi agrim grantha drishter apatyavatyoh gopya eva antargraha niruddha. So he says that as it will be described in this chapter later on, that the gopis, Krishna was telling them that matara pitra putra, that you should go and do service to them. Matara pitra putra bhratra patyascha vichinvanti hi pashyanto mam kridvam badu sadhasam. That The children are searching, and gopis also spoke yat patya patya surudam anuvrittiranga strinam swadharmiti dharma vidata yuktam. So there also apatya is mentioned. Apatya means children. It's basically giving reference that some gopis had children. Pati sutta anuvaya bhratri, sutta again children. So he says that from these statements it is understood that some gopis had children. Apatya means children. So he says that it is these gopis which were blocked inside the house, which actually had children. The ones which went to Krishna did not have children. So that's why he says apatyavatyo gopya eva antargriha niruddha babhuriti. Only the gopis with children, they were curtailed inside the house. Sri Kavi Karnpur Goswami Krit Dashram Skandha Tikayam Drishtam. So this is also understood from the commentary of Sri Kavi Karnpur on the 10th canto. Where is that commentary? So atas tadanusarena sarvatrikam moolartham avapya evam vyakhyayate. So he says, now seeing this whole thing according to these slokas, so he says that the meaning of the sloka is to be understood as follows, or is described as follows. Gopal upasakaha rishaya te Sri Ram Murti Madhuri Darshanad Ragamaya Bhakter Nishtha Ruchya Shakti Rankur Bhumika Arudha Samyag Paripakva Kashaya Api Shri Yogamaya Devya Gokulamaniya Gopi Garbhe Janata Kanyaka Babhuma. He says that these sages who saw Ramchandra and they were worshipper of Gopala, so they, by seeing the sweetness of Rama, so their raga increased, became to Nishtha, then Ruchi, then Ashakti, and then up to Bhava. So Bhav Bhumika Arudha. So Samyag Aparipakva Kashaya Api. So although they were not absolutely free from the Kashaya, then Yogamaya, by the grace of Yogamaya, they were brought to Gokul and they took birth from the gopis in the Gokula and became girls here. तासामेव मध्ये काश्चित् नित्य सिद्धा गोपी संग भूमना वह संधि दशाम आरभ्य एव लब्ध पूर्वानुरागा स्फूर्ति प्राप्त कृष्णांग संगाद दग्ध सम्यक कषाया प्रेम स्नेहादि भूमिका रूढ़ा गोपैर्व्यूढ़ा अपि योगमायैव तदंग स्पर्श दोषाद रहिता चिन्मय देहि भूता कृष्ण उपभुक्तः तस्याम रात्रौ वेणुवादन समय पतिभिर्वार्यमाणापि योग माया सहाय प्रसादन नित्य सिद्धि गोपी भी सहिता एव प्रेष्ठम अभिशस्त्र. So he says that out of these who were born here as gopi, or from the gopis, some attained the association of the Nitya Siddha gopis, and by their association, when they became youthful, then they attained Purvarag for Krishna, and then they attained the association of Krishna, and thus all their impurities were removed. And then they attained the stage of Prema, Sneha, etc. And then they got married to the Gopas. And although they were married to the Gopas, when Krishna played the flute, they are the one who went, because Yogamaya arranged that they were not touched by the Gopas, although they were married. So Yogamaya protected them. They were not touched by them. So doshad rahita chinmay dehi bhuta. Their bodies were absolutely pure and thus fit to be associated with Krishna. So that night when Krishna played the flute, although they were stopped by their husbands, still what Yogamaya did, that she assisted them to reach, created another set of gopis, and the husband, etc., thought that they are here. So the original ones went and the duplicate remained. So that's why it says that even they tried to stop, but they still went. So these are these ones. So then with the Nitya Siddha gopis, they reached Krishna. And the other ones we'll read tomorrow. Any more questions on this? Yes.
I couldn't catch exactly now who reached Krishna and who not. So the Nitya Siddha gopis, they certainly did, but now these Sadhan Siddhas who had association with perfected gopis, they could also reach, but only those who did not have children.
And that he will describe in the remaining part.
Okay. And earlier he said that there are, I'm just confused about some technical things. So earlier he said that there are two types of gopis, right? Sadhan Siddha, Nitya Siddha, and then he said that for Sadhan Siddha there are two types. But
Yautiki and
exactly.
Ayotiki.
And then for Yotik he also said there are two types of Yotikya. But then we also have the Deva Kanyas. So these Devis, where do they belong? Do they also belong to the Yotikas? No. Okay.
We already said they are expansions of the gopis. It isn't right much about here.
Okay.
But in Ujjwal Nilmani it is described that they come and merge into the gopis, or they remain as just associates of the gopis.
The duplicate gopis were created by Yogamaya, so they are from Hladini Shakti. The duplicate gopis who were created by Yogamaya, they should be created from Hladini Shakti as well?
Yeah.
So there is no difference between these duplicate gopis and the Nitya
They
Siddha?
look same. But the duplicate cannot associate with Krishna.
Oh, they cannot?
No. This is only just to fool the husbands. That later on that sloka comes, Nasuyan Khalu Krishnaya. And the Gopas, they did not become envious of Krishna because Swaswa Parsham, that they saw their own wives next to them. So their duplicate associate with the husbands. The original ones go to Krishna. Okay, Malati.
In the description of the Rishi ceremonies, it sounds that there's some material karma involved because they desire to enjoy Rama. So if that's the case, is it so that if material karma is directed towards Krishna, then it's still so purified that one can attain Goloka?
No, it is not material karma. They desired. This word is a little bit misleading, and I said here the word kama means prema.
So that means that their desire to enjoy was not really for themselves, but just like the gopis, only to be pleasant to Krishna.
That's why I'm saying be careful with the words here, because you see this language is limited. Otherwise everywhere you have to keep on saying it, that they desire to please Krishna and then be with him. They desire to serve Krishna and be with him. So it is not, then you cannot write all these slokas and this. So they use the same word, but you have to understand that here, that famous statement that Kama eva gopa, prema eva gopa ramanam kama iti prathama agamat. That the word prema in relationship with the gopis became popular as kama. So when kama is being used in relationship with gopis, it means prema. And when it is said they desire to enjoy him or with him, it means Anukulena Krishna Nasena. You have to just
So that
keep.
applies to these wishes.
Yes, you have to keep that in mind.
And that's why they couldn't reach Krishna, because they have this pure prema.
Otherwise, how will they land up here in Raj?
Right, yeah, that's.
Moini.
Why is it like this that Yoga Maya protected one type of gopi that they were not touched? And what fault then did the other gopis have that they got children?
They were not so pure, that's why.
And why did they then reach Rakat Vrindavan or Bhauma Vrindavan if they?
Yeah, because here Kamsa is also there in Vrindavan. How did he reach? Aghasura. How is that he reached here?
So it is something to compare with this Hulinda girl who also reached, but she was not born. She was just a normal resident who got attracted. So these gopis who got children, they are also like similar. They are just residents who are not born there due to sadhana.
You see, I read it long ago, so I may not be exactly right. But in marketing, there are many tricks of selling. So one trick is there that if you want to sell your product, then don't just have one product, you make 2 or 3 variety of the same one. And then one you keep high price and other less price, and one nicely packed, even if they are same, then people will think, oh, this is great by comparison, and they will buy that. If you don't have those other ones and just keep the top product, they will not buy it that much. This is a selling trick, marketing, human mind, basically. Human psychology, this is the highest human psychology, what is being described here. There is nothing higher than this. So, as I have said repeatedly, and I am saying it again, that the intention of Vyasa is to teach us what is Vraj Bhakti. So for that he has to bring others and make comparison. In Vraj Bhakti, in Bhakti there are many levels. So he wants to show what is the purest form of Vraj Bhakti. To show that he has to contrast it. Already so many contrasts were shown. He told the story of Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad, Prithu Maharaj, Rishabdev, so many other things. Building up and coming to this place. Now here also he is showing that up to that level, because he says that they still had Kashaya. What is the Kashaya? They already attained Bhava. Impurity is remaining. And then they got the association of the Nitya Siddha Gopis, fortunately, so they are completely pure now. The other ones did not, so they got married and children. If you are impure, you got children. If you are not impure, no children. Just remember this. Because in prema, that's all. So this focus is on what is the purest state. So this is fine tuning. Olden days when there used to be radio, you have to tune it. If it goes little bit this way or that way, then the sound is not clear. You get a lot of khad sound coming. So this is called fine tuning. So when you will be fine tuned, then it is Braj Bhakti. Otherwise some noise is there, Noise means kashaya.
It makes still, like when we read this in this area and this specific fine-tuning, it gives like a feeling of hopelessness.
Yes, that is the right word. It's very depressing to read this. Because when you read this, you lose all hopes. So that is one. And then there are others who read it, they become very fired up. Oh my God, this is the real thing, I want it. So some people will read this and they will become dejected. And some people will become very fired up and determined for it. So two types of effects. So those who have little kasaya, we are talking about the kashaya, they will become depressed. And others, it will act like a tonic for them. That's what in the end he says, that Vrajbadubhir vikriditam Vrajbadubhir idam cha Vishnu. So that is he is talking about the other type of people.
So what is to be done for those who get dejected by reading this?
Just remain dejected but keep on listening. So slowly it will purify this hearing. Because how long will you remain dejected? Not eternally. Because dejection cannot be eternal. So then you will come out of it. So don't worry.
Because
I also feel dejected when I read it. So don't worry, I am with you. But I don't give up. I don't give up. I say, okay, let me see how long I will remain dejected.
Thank you.
Okay, Raghava.
Related to what Malati said, that what about Kubja? Because Kubja, apparently she was not motivated by karma in the sense of prema.
Okay, speak your question. Just say, what is your question?
What about Kubja? Was she...
What is your question? You're just simply saying, what about Kubja doesn't mean anything. What is your question?
It was, Kubja was not, wanted to enjoy for herself or not? Did Kubja wanted to enjoy
Yes.
Krishna herself or not?
Yeah, she wanted.
Another thing I don't, then therefore, that even that kind of karma can be so purified as one attains Krishna truly or not.
How many people have that kind of desire? Only people like Kubja. How many Kubjas are there?
I see. Another thing is, I don't understood well what is this sadhana group, this sadhana people that does not belong to a group. How they got there then if they were...
No, just like now people are doing sadhana, do they belong to any group? The sages was a group, the Upanishads are group. Here there is no group. Somebody is doing, sitting at Radha Kund and doing meditation, Leela, and he goes, he's not belong to any specific group.
But you mean they don't have a guru and therefore don't belong to
Are Baba, group means group of people doing sadhana together. Just like the sages were all together and the Upanishads were together. So now it's not like that.
So what is the example of some that does not belong to the group?
Just like people, somebody doing sadhana now, at present, and he becomes perfect. So he is a Ayothaki. Okay, Sandeep.
Thank you.
Normally I had one question, but I'll ask that tomorrow. But today I just wanted to ask you one small thing. One will get permission to Vraja only if he has Murchit Kashaya. So then why this is talking about Kashaya again?
I already answered.
But okay, if it is to give contrast, I get that point, to get the contrast and to understand what pure bhakti is. But then we study Bhakti Sandarbha that until unless you have Murchit Kasaya, you will not.
So Murchit Kasaya is there or not? So that's what he's saying.
Kasaya is there, it is Murchit. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.